Hello, everyone. So, I had to go to the laundromat today, and I was chatting with the cab driver, and he was like, yeah, he goes, I got laid off and all that. And I said, have you tried Facebook? And he goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, if you go onto Facebook, I said, first of all, when you go onto one like Indeed and, like if you go onto Indeed, because Indeed's like the place now to like find all the jobs. You gotta have buzzwords because they use like bots and AI. Or it's like you're lucky that you were like the first person that got in. To look for a job. I said, but if you look on Facebook. And he goes, I never thought about that. He's like, what do you mean? I said, there's like six job posting groups for Wausau. I said, there's like Wausau and surrounding area job listings, Wausau job, what else? Oh gosh, there's a ton of, there's 6 of them, right? Just click Wausau jobs and several of them will pop up. And I said, if you do that, because that's how I found this job, right? I was like, I made a quick post. I was going to show it to him, but I couldn't find it. And I said, if you do that, I said, you'll more likely get a job offer. And he says, what do you mean? I said, because HR people are always looking for everything. So they're posting online. They're looking on Facebook. It's a way to get yourself out there, right? It's a way to be like say you're in a room full of people and everybody, there's like papers going at it and everything. And I said, you get the opportunity to go into that room. You get like a microphone. You're like, hey, my name is Mindy. I've got 8.5 years of caregiving experience. And you talk about your credentials, you will get hits within minutes or at least a few hours. If they are looking for a job and they're like, hey, and they'll get like messages like, hey, and it'll be like, and it could be some random person like, hey, my job is hiring, or they're looking for someone, like a lot of people are like, oh, have you tried Weston Care Partners? Have you tried Synergy Health? Have you tried Interim Health? Nicolay Staffing, all of these places. So this is for anyone who's looking for a job. Utilize your Facebook groups. There's literally a ton of them out there. I'm sure some cities have more than others. I just know in my area for Wausau, there's like 6. Not to mention, Facebook Marketplace also probably has jobs, job postings. But yeah, if you do that, you're able to put yourself directly out there in front of people. And you can get PMs and you'll get like, PM requests like, hey, let me PM you. And like, hey, we're looking for people like you. Like, let's set up a phone interview. I'm not kidding you. I literally got this job. I literally got a job interview that same day. They said, hey, this is my email address. Email me your resume. Emailed her my resume. She's like, called me up that day. And she was like, let me call you. We set up a meeting. And I said, yeah. And it was for Friday. And she's like, oh my God, and I explained it everything to her. And she's like, okay, go in for an interview. That Friday. And she's like, oh my gosh, So that's just for everything. That way you could talk about your credentials, your abilities, and everything else. I mean, I wouldn't give too much information because, like, it is, social media. So, I would definitely say, like, is anyone posting I'm looking for? And I see a few posts. I don't see them as much anymore, but I have seen a few posts because when I did it, I saw like 2 other people posted, it's very rare, and I don't think people utilize the system long enough. But I'm sure if, because I know a lot of people, there's another YouTuber that I'm watching. He's looking for work now. And it is hard when you've been employed for a long time. You don't keep your your skill sharp. You kind of forget everything, so you're having to completely relearn everything. But I would say, honest to God, look for it, because so that's just like my tip. So I hope that helps everybody.